Michael McMill is a lot of things. He's a former drummer for the legendary rock and roll group Three Dog Night. He's an East Tennessean these days. Beautiful ranch in the New Tazewell area where he shines a light on local musicians with a YouTube series called Live at Mickey's Place. He's also a friend of the show, joins us once a month to fill us in on some of his musical finds, and today is that day. Michael, it's good to have you back in, my friend. How you doing?
That's good. Although, when you said snake...
What's your snake story?
Well, first of all, I had to pull off the road because it was a horrific experience. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you scared of snakes?
Oh, God.
You are, okay.
Well, you know, I was working with a guy the other day, and there was a black snake, right? And he just panicked. He said, my God, I think it's a copper. Look, run. I said, what is it? I don't know. Listen. And it was just a small black snake.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so Smitty, the first guitar player that replaced Michael Alsop in Three Dog, used to carry an 8-foot boa constrictor in his guitar case.
No.
I swear to God. I don't know how he shipped it when we took planes and things. But, yeah, it was 8 foot, and he said that he would keep it at his house, and he had a chandelier, and the snake would stay above his bed on a chandelier.
No.
I don't know what it is.
Did you ever mess with it on tour?
No, none of us would get close to it. But it was nuts.
Dude, I can't do snakes, and I'm glad to know you can't either, so I don't have to worry about you dragging one in here one day, right?
But let's go watch snakes on a plane.
Yeah, and I can watch them all day long. I just don't want to be around one. As long as there's a piece of glass between the snake and myself, I'm good.
I know it.
Hey, man, let's talk about Live at Mickey's Place. If you haven't seen this on YouTube, I love what you're doing there, man, and you're shining a light on local talent. It's done very well there in your wonderful ranch up in New Tazewell. Why did you decide to start finding, and not just finding, but then recognizing local musicians?
Well, it's hard for me to get off the hill because it's so beautiful up there.
It is.
90 acres and what have you. But a friend was doing a jam session, a guy named John Mason, and he does a lot of blues jams. He invited me down to Rogers Place, which is in Knoxville. And lo and behold, you went down there.
You and I went, it's been a few months back, but we were there.
And I said, oh my gosh, I got to do something with these guys. Now, I had a recording studio already, but I had no video equipment at all. Back in the 80s, I used to have a video production company, so I spent a lot of time doing that. Anyway, so I went out. I first started with phone cameras, and with a GoPro. And, I'm turning all these things off, like this one just turned off. And by the way, we are filming today.
Yes, I love this.
And you're looking sharp. I want the bearded one to come in and make an appearance.
You got to put that beard on video so we can go on YouTube,
I'll step in there in a little bit.
You got to do this.
Anyway, so I saw these great musicians, and I said, okay, what am I going to do about this? So I started, and then after trial and error, I put up lights and everything else, and because I was fairly experienced with it, I found the right cameras and right everything. And so now, we shoot with 7 cameras and all 4K, and it rocks, man.
Buddy, I love it. Live at Mickey's Place on YouTube, so check it out. Tell us about today's featured artist, the Vertical Birds.
Well, it's funny. I have a friend named Marlisa who terms them as the Vertical Blinds.
It's easy to read it that way, you know?
These guys, I tell you, DJ, who's a singer and songwriter, guitar player, I think he'll be calling in today. And we've got Jeremy on bass and Eric on keyboards and James, who I love his drumming. James, if you're listening. These guys, they're soulful. He writes his own material. And terrific. That's what I have found. There's these musicians. I love East Tennessee musicians. I mean, they're just the best. Good, wholesome people, church-going people, most of the time. And it's just fun. It's so nurturing for me to be able to bring them up. We do lunch, we do crazy stuff. We did something last week. I call it Suicide Frizz Cornhole.
Wait, say that again. Suicide
Frisbee Cornhole.
Suicide Frisbee Cornhole.
Right. So you play your regular cornhole game. But then we have Frisbees trying to knock them off course. And, I mean, it was like, it was crazy, just crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, so I try to come up with some fun stuff that, in fact, I don't know if I told you about, did I say about Hillbilly Jedi?
You've got a video on Live at Mickey's Place, your channel, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me about that.
Well, I took clips from Star Wars, and Luke. I did a whole thing on the Sun Sphere. That rival gangs are held up in the Sun Sphere.
Oh, cool.
Right, and Darth comes in, and then I found some clips of Darth, but I did a voiceover. We've got to take over Knoxville. The whole deal. It's just a great way, a creative way to have fun, and these guys are great. Last week I just did a group called NTAC, NTACT from South Carolina. They're the OJs and Temptations all rolled into one.
Wow.
I can't wait for you to hear.
It's nice to hear that music still has a place. The OJs, the Temptations kind of thing.
Yeah.
Before we hit the break, Eric, let's skip clip 1 and go to clip 2. And I want to give you a sample of the Vertical Birds. DJ, you referenced, he's on the phone. We'll talk to him when we come back here in just a second. But here's a quick sound of the Vertical Birds here, Wheels on Fire.
Original.
I've tried to ride to steer between the line of desire and fear, and the road ain't wide, and there's no way out. Covered in fire and paved with doubt. But I'm doing fine. Eyes open wide, wide open, and I'm driving with the wheels on fire. Clock can be kind, or it can be cruel. So who am I to blame for being a fool? Oh, I'm staring at the sun, and I walked on the moon, danced with the devil as he sang me a tune.
That's the Vertical Birds. DJ Morrison, lead singer there. He's going to join us when we get back here. Michael McNeil, his once-a-month visit. We'll learn all about the group and the song when we come back here on Yarbrough.